For generations, the worst among us have contrived to tear our political and social fabric apart to the benefit of the few over the many. Their intent and mission have been diabolically simple: divide and conquer, and they have been wildly successful. Hi, I'm Michael James Ott, veteran, retired engineer and businessman, and now ambassador and facilitator for the solution to this madness: citizen statesmanship. The vast majority of people from all corners of the globe are just like you and me. Extraordinary, so-called ordinary people. Join us in our quest to recreate the political landscape, eliminating the tribal hostilities and warfare incited for centuries by the label and blame mantra of our traditional leaders. Now is the time to end the atrocities of god-awful leadership, launching a final and lasting divorce from tyranny. All driven by everyday citizens, driven by you and me. It's the Pro and Con Show, brought to you today and every day by Citizen Statesmanship, the cure for what ails us. Hi out there, welcome to the Pro and Con Show. I am Michael James Ott.
And I am Mindy Bergen, and we are your hosts for today's show.
And it is wildly important to say that supporting and spreading the word about citizen statesmanship is important and impactful. Do it. Educate other people around you. Tell them to come watch our podcast. Show them, send them links to the YouTube video. Send them links to the podcast. We must grow this in order to fix what's going to happen to us. So talk to your friends, talk to your family about this, our only valid chance for a much brighter tomorrow. Do it now. How was that? Was that
That was pretty decent.
Not too bad. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Anyway, citizen statesmanship is the cure for what ails us. It is the antibiotic for our infection. It is the perfectly targeted chemotherapy for our cancer. It's the wildly successful vaccinations against polio and smallpox. And it will cure what has ailed human society for centuries. And we must do this, and in order to do it, you must join us. Okay? So start educating people, watch this, start educating, and then contact us at FreeEqualFair@gmail.com. We'll put you on an action list. So when future things happen where we need more additional actions, you'll be ready on that list.
If we're going to make a change, it's going to take a lot of us, which means every single one of us has to talk to a lot of people. And then, sign up. Make sure we know how to get a hold of you.
Exactly. So today's topic is you have nothing better to do. So yesterday I spent some time with a bunch of retired friends of mine. I'm retired. Mindy's not.
Must be nice.
She's still working like crazy.
Like a dog.
Working like crazy, family and all of it, right? But I'm retired, and I spent some time with some old work colleagues that are also all retired. And more than one time, in the 2 hours we sat around there, I heard someone say, well, I had nothing better to do, so I went and played bingo, or they didn't do that, but one of them went to see, we were in submarines. I was in the Navy in submarines, and he had been in submarines, and he went to see the commissioning of one of the new submarines.
That is pretty cool.
It was actually pretty cool, and he was quite excited about it, but, I had nothing better to do.
Kind of sounds like,
there was plenty of things that I was kind of bored, and I just thought, well, this is kind of the best thing that I could do at the moment. Not important.
No real sense of urgency.
No urgency and no importance to it, really, other than, okay, maybe have a little fun, be entertained a little bit. So, Mindy, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm going to anyway.
That's why I'm here.
So I know you're very busy with your life, as are almost all of the EOP members out there, extraordinary, ordinary people. Members of the largest community on the planet, by the way, if you want to be part of a community, you already are. Extraordinary, ordinary people. So, but having said all that, what's got you running around these days?
What's got me busy?
What's got you busy?
Well, I have 2 kids in college, so there's tuition to be paid.
Oh, wow.
My
okay.
children are all boys over 6 feet, so we have mouths to feed. So I imagine it's the same thing that has most people running. You know, you got to meet the needs of every day.
Yeah.
I think that I'm fortunate in the sense that, to me, my work is also a passion. I'm a nurse. I love caring for people. And so I feel that my job is not just a job, it's a calling. And I think that I'm probably more fortunate than a lot of people in that way. So yeah, a little bit of a drive to make the world a better place and a drive to help provide for the family.
But just like everybody, okay, and back when I was working, it was the same thing, right? So you've got there's a family, there's the house, the all of it,
the
right?
demands,
There's all the demands on living the life. Making sure you're getting food and you've got health care and
none of which has gotten easier, right?
None of it.
All of it's gotten harder to attain.
It continues to get harder and harder because we have the wrong people in charge, as we've said over and over and over again.
Yeah.
They will keep taking until we revolt, basically. And so that actually they're we talk about these cabals of people or whatever. I don't know if there's really organized cabals or not, but for sure the individuals, they're just like, how far can I push this and still maintain control over it?
And they protect each other as a class, whether or not they.
Even
talk about it, they.
Oh yeah. That was very clear to me. So I was in corporate America for 30 years, and I, because of the jobs I was doing, I kind of got in those areas where the board, the board of directors kinds of stuff from
the C-suite, as they say.
The C-suite from time to time, and I'm like, oh. I see how this works.
And they're not all narsoles. But
most of them. It's just like autism has a spectrum.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Narsolism has a spectrum. And there are narsoles that are just full out, just absolutely the worst people on the planet, don't give a damn about anything or anyone other than themselves. And then there's other people on the narsole spectrum that, okay, they mostly don't give a damn about anybody on the planet, but there's handfuls of people that maybe that for whatever reason they like them, or whatever, and they might treat them better, differently.
And our system has become more and more conducive to those people being the ones that are in charge of the rules that guide all of our lives.
They guide all of our lives. And I saw this, it's a fraternity or a sorority or whatever. It's the board members. If you look, folks, and most people don't bother to look, but the boards, they sit on each other's board of directors.
Oh, interesting.
And yes, they do. And so I remember back in the day I was working for Corning, and one of the board of directors members owned the Washington Wizards, I think it was, back in the day. And so these people, and if you look, there's like, well, geez, so this person was a senior VP of something and for Monsanto, and there's just this.
Not to mention that every industry is consolidated down to be, the seven kinds of detergent you have the option to buy are all made by the same company or what have you. Like it's also very concentrated.
Yeah. And so anyway, that's why it all happens. These mega payouts and stuff like that is because they know they're sitting there at the same table, and it's like, well, okay, we're going to give you this $250 million payout, for you to leave your job. But of course, the expectation is that when you're seeing on my board of directors, a week from now or a month from now, you're going to give me the big payout. And they do. It's just incestuous.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the right word?
Yeah, that's a word.
This incestuous kind of thing where they're just like helping each other.
And these are the only people that have the resources to run for office as well.
And that's, again, because step by step we have allowed because they've kind of tricked us in fairness. They have superficial charm and they're, pathological liars, and we're not used to that. We're not used to that.
By nature.
By nature. We're generally, the EOP members, Extraordinary Ordinary People, we're genuinely charming, if we're charming. And we're genuinely honest, okay? Everybody lies a little bit here and there,
but we feel like we should be honest. At least we have something.
And generally we are.
And feel bad if we're not.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there are people, a high percentage of people, they get all kinds of stress. They will end up putting themselves in a hospital if they lie too much or lie in a very significant way. Because the stress of it, because that's who we are. Lying is not a thing.
But now we live in a nation.
Now we live in a world where the narsoles have been, doing this stuff to us for decades and decades.
And if you say it loudly and repeat it a few times, it is no longer a lie. Now it's true.
Well, it's still a lie, but it's a lie that we accept, I guess.
And even if we don't, we have no power over it.
Right. We don't have any power over it. But they were so good. Again, it's the us versus them. That's a tool.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very powerful tool that they use to get people separated. And then once you're in like the one tribe, the leader of that tribe, you have a tendency to believe that person because you've kind of accepted them as the leader. And so, and you're angry at the other guys, so you listen to whoever is leading you, and you're angry at the other guys. This is how all the wars happened for centuries and centuries and centuries. This is all of it, all of it, all of it. The warfare, the pestilence, the poverty, the famine, the misuse and abuse for centuries and centuries and centuries. It's always the same. It's always a small percentage of us that are label and blaming, divide and conquer, and, fight to the death because some narsole wants some property or wants a bigger estate or wants a bigger city-state or,
A tax break.
It's been going on forever. And yes, and modern terms, yes. Then they want whatever's really important to them. Like I saw one of the politicians, he'd been in the Senate, and he was adamant about never getting rid of the filibuster. Well, now he's getting challenges, and he's a narsole, so he has to get reelected, and he's getting some serious challenges in his primary, and so he's changing his mind, and he's going to say, the filibuster doesn't matter anymore. And it all comes, folks, it all comes to, and I said this in a previous show, our political parties, they are driving a 50-50 split because that's the perfect war.
Yes.
It's perfect.
And we've talked before about using political issues as political warfare. No interest in solving the problems. Solving the problems doesn't get you votes.
And they have, and you've even watched, if you paid attention, the political parties, whether you're Democratic or Republican, the leaders, they've changed, sometimes wildly, their philosophies because they have to get to that 50-50 split so they can keep the war going, so they can keep picking our pockets and steal.
What would our founders say?
The founders of our country, and I'll be honest, I didn't know this until a handful of months ago. But then you learn more every day, and we're educating you, so you'll educate other people. But you learn more, and the founders of our country, they were vehemently opposed to the existence of political parties. they were vehemently opposed to this because they had seen enough. There was, even then, 250 years ago, there was enough history of other countries and political parties and all this stuff. They had seen it, and it's like, this is going to be the end of all this hard work that we just put. We did this, and it's absolutely clear. You read the Silence Dogood letters and Washington's farewell address and all the letters and documents and correspondence from back in the day. And they all intended, absolutely, that it would be extraordinary, ordinary people that would be leading each other. That was the absolute intent. Absolute. And I didn't even realize that we were, I was proceeding forward because I had this friend who said, hey, serving in government should be like jury duty. And, well, yeah, the founders thought that way too, 250 years ago. Go figure.
Go figure.
Go figure. Go figure. Because it's been true forever, and unfortunately, we have not recognized our power because they've used the label and blame, the divide and conquer, and so they've had power over us.
And we thought it was okay to be ambivalent and to sit back and let government happen because it just does. And, life is okay. And here we are with it burning around us a little bit.
And it's getting worse and worse. And everybody recognizes this. And we were talking before the show, Mindy and I were talking before the show. And why is that? Well, because, again, intentionally, the gauntlet to run for political office is getting worse and worse and worse. But it's all intentional. They are hell-bent to stop normal, extraordinary, ordinary people with, compassion and honesty and reason, and they don't want those people in government.
Anytime there's a hint that might be easier, ranked choice voting, which would open the door to people running for office. The 19th state just passed legislation saying it's forbidden within their state.
Yes.
They're just clinging to
it's
their version of power.
It's been, and everything like, running as an independent, like running for U.S. Senate in the state of South Carolina where I'm at. You can do it. But the first thing you have to do is you have to collect at least 10,000 signatures. And those signatures and the associated information have to be perfect. And one of the bits of the information, which, back when we allowed it to happen, I haven't looked to see when this happened, but the petition doesn't just have your name and address anymore or phone number. It has your voter registration number. Okay, folks, out in the audience, got your voter registration number memorized? Got it tattooed on the back of your hand?
Even know where to find it.
Do you even know where to find it? Did you even know you had one? Huh? Yeah. So now if you're going around and collecting these signatures, what could have been, like a 15-second thing for someone to take the petition and sign it, write their address down. Now it's I got to look it up. I got to go to a website. Okay? And so now it's a 2-minute thing.
So these two parties that were never really intended to be a thing now have tightened their grasp to the point that you really can't even fight them.
That's right. That is all along, that's been the intent.
Which leads you to the point as to why people who are busy, like myself, or even some retired people that have lots of good things to do, are sitting here spending time talking about this and saying, let's do something different. Why are we taking the time to do that? And as this show title suggests, is there anything better that we could possibly be doing?
So we're rapidly getting to the place where, and I mentioned as a retired person, I had nothing better to do. I had nothing better to do. But the future, and in a previous show we think about the future, sometimes not enough, honestly, frankly, and again, we've kind of, and as Mindy said earlier, it's okay, everything's okay. Well, now it's not okay anymore, and it's getting far worse. And
even for those for whom it still feels okay in the day to day, if you know anyone, I mean, it's people around me are being harmed all the time. And even, like you mentioned, we have what we need. We're in pretty, I'm employed, my kids are in school. My son got sick unexpectedly. I'm insured. We have decent insurance. And all of a sudden we have medical bills just piling in, $80,000 some of medical bills. And we're able to deal with that better than most people. Like, we don't really have time to sit around and think about, well, maybe things will get bad someday and we'll have to take action.
But everyone knows, and I engineer here the trend. The trend is the thing. It's not at this moment in time. It's the trend. The trend is the thing. And the trend is clearly things are getting worse, and they're getting rapidly worse. Mm-hmm. And so we have a big sense of urgency because of all kinds of things. One of them is, again, the narsoles, they don't care. They're irresponsible. So our deficits are going crazy. And that someday is going to lead to a loss of confidence in the financial system. And, for the billionaires, Elon Musk is worth whatever, $500 billion or something. Well, if he loses a couple of zeros, he's still worth $5 billion. But Mindy and I, we lose a couple of zeros in our net wealth. Makes a much bigger difference, right? It's like, how are we gonna make ends meet? Right?
And for someone living on, just hand to mouth.
Yes, and then there's a significant percentage of people that are just going to get absolutely devastated. Yeah. I mean, no chance. Life and death. Yeah. Life and death. It's no chance for them. And so the title of the show, even though you got nothing better to do, actually is we have nothing better to do. That the house is burning, and we're inside the house. And yeah, you can choose to watch TV a little bit more, but no, the house is burning.
And we're also getting to the point where the government has shifted in such a way as to make changing harder and harder. So if someone's sitting with the scissors on the phone line and your house is burning, you don't have time, before the lines are cut and you can't call for help. What are we doing to get people out?
Yeah. So this is, we have to. And we're doing all the shows. We're talking to people, in person and things like that, to educate, to spread the word, to make people realize, for example, that our founders intended that we, the extraordinary, ordinary people, would run the country, and not the narsoles. And we have. If you're watching this, and whether or not you're watching it actually, but if you happen to be watching or listening, you have nothing better to do than to at least carve out a little bit of time here to join the movement, contact us, get ready to take some actions in the future, because the trend is bad.
So if someone's watching for the first time, they don't understand citizen statesmanship and what we mean and why we say it's the cure to what ails us. Just in a nutshell, what would it look like to an average person?
So the biggest difference is I had a prepared statement. Do I still have it? I do. Ha ha ha. So I have a prepared statement. I worked on it some, so I hope it's a fairly written. And you tell me, Mindy, whether you think it's a reasonably good.
All right.
But I think this is a good overview. Ready? So the Citizen Statesmanship Tour is a global initiative designed to elevate civic responsibility and empower the extraordinary, ordinary people of the United States and of the world. This is going around the globe. The tour will feature town halls, educational forums, open community discussions, and podcasts and YouTube videos focused on advancing the new citizen statesmanship paradigm. This new methodology will replace the past methods for identifying candidates for elected office. The new system will mimic portions of jury selection, modified appropriately for the purpose of identifying the best of the extraordinary, ordinary people to occupy elected offices. Random individuals initially are selected into a pool, just like jury duty, and the rest of us will vet them based on their answers to a questionnaire, similar to jury duty, actually. And only the best will then be selected selected by us to serve the country. And then, so that's the short of it, but then you serve, and then you go home. And there's all kinds of other parts that isn't part of this summary. So, you guys happy with the attack ads and the billboards and the yard signs?
The millions of dollars.
And the billions of dollars, not just millions, billions of dollars that are spent just for these narsoles to get reelected or elected the first time. All the wasted money. Think of all the things you out there. If they gave you an extra $1,000 or something out of all this money they spend, would that, help you? Maybe help pay one of your kids' tuition or something,
A bill here and there.
Yes, or a medical bill, or your car is broken down. All the waste that we suffer because of the current way that we do things. It's god awful horrible.
And when we send someone to represent us, they spend a third of their time working on winning the next election.
Oh.
And they aren't even working.
Well, I hate to argue with you, Miss Mindy.
You say it's day one.
It's way more than a third of their time.
Probably so.
It is. It's in the House of Representatives because they don't do anything. They literally don't do anything other than try to get reelected. So all they do is they appear on television or whatever, whoever will talk to them. They spiel their, toxic, the other guys are evil, we're great in every way. But there's not the first hint of this is the solution.
Right, data-driven.
This is, here's the actual problem. It's always, the problem exists because of the Democrats, or the problem exists because of the Republicans. Blame them,
Right. And we believe that we know answers to a lot of these things. And I've always said, abortion specifically, pick 50 good quality people, most of them women, and put them in a room together. They'll come up with some amazing creative solutions. People are smart. We have good ideas. People have different strengths, different areas of expertise. Citizens are good people. So we believe that these citizens need to be the ones running our government, making our decisions.
Yeah. And, Mindy says this, and it's specifically about abortion, for example. So I've made hundreds of videos, and some of them were 4-part series about abortion. Basically saying exactly, now there was no collusion here, no prior discussion about that in any way, shape, or form. But if you go back and you watch those videos, and you can, just go to at FreeEqualFair on YouTube. You can go back and look at them. And it's exactly that discussion. It's a discussion about, and again, I say very clearly over and over, just like in this one, there's certain things that we're suggesting just for the idea of being able to imagine it, because that's what humans do. It helps to be able to imagine something, but not prescriptive, not saying, well, this has, it's got to be this way. But the bottom line is, almost everybody feels like there's way too many abortions. Well, okay. But there's many ways to handle it where, and the key thing is the women involved. Because, and I'll go ahead and say this part of what I said in those things. Women talk about a lot of different things. In my experience, women talk about a lot of things that a lot of men, at least around me, don't talk about. Not to say that all women are the same and but they talk about a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of shared experience.
There's a lot of, and things are like, some of them are kind of private, you would think, like my mother used to own a beauty shop, and I would walk out there, and I'd be like, hey, Ma, it's time for lunch, there's some lunch meat, da 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 da, and I'm in this room and I'm listening to these women talking, and I'm like, whoa, oh, I can't believe I'm hearing this, So anyway, in that construct, so the one thing, and they'll talk about, going on vacations, or they'll talk about, various things with their spouses or whatever, their families, and some of them, pretty darn private. But the one thing that you don't hear women say, sitting in a boutique or anywhere, is, what would be fun? Let's all get pregnant with children that we don't want to have.
That we don't want,
And so then we can go have an abortion holiday.
Yeah.
No.
And that plays totally to your point about how we've been pitted against each other, because the very language, pro-life and pro-choice.
Yes.
The very language is created to make us think that we are 100% at odds on that topic.
Label and blame.
When largely, we're not.
No.
Like you said, I think almost everyone would agree.
And so the point of the short synopsis of the rest of the shows is there's all kinds of opportunities, because the United States is well down the list in infant mortality, maternal mortality, defects, all of it, all of the health aspects, on and on and on. We're well down the list. Well down the list. So this would be a great opportunity to help all of that. Help the health of the women involved, and basically the fundamental thing is give women all kinds of options that they are much more positive about.
Yeah. Resources,
options, on and on and on. And by doing all that,
the need for abortion
would
evaporate.
Exactly. It would plummet.
Yeah.
And whereas today, because of the current situation and stuff, and again, no one's trying to fix it.
Right.
So now, women, and it's unfortunate, but women have to travel, but they do, right? So
and women die when they can't travel.
And they do that too. They do that too.
The truth. And that's true in our home state of South Carolina.
That's true. So anyway, the narsoles and the political parties and the people around them, they're doing these things, and the outcome is way worse than if we would just talk. And I also said, absolutely, again, we did not collaborate before, but I was like, women are making this decision. I can be a man and I can help facilitate. I can get up there and say, okay, you said this, let me write it on the board. But it's a woman thing, and the best analogy I have is I have a prostate gland, and men get prostate cancer. And if every 5 times a man had unprotected sex, he got prostate cancer. It's a terrible analogy, but it's the best one that I could come up with.
It's grim.
But it's stuck. And see, one of the problems is women are stuck, right?
Yeah.
Our history is, the expectation is, a woman is pregnant, it's on her.
Yeah.
And the same thing, so I just think of myself, even though it's not a baby, it's prostate cancer, but I'm hoping that most of the analogy is working. And now the women are telling me, because right now men are telling women, oh, you can't have abortions and stuff like that. Well, I have prostate cancer, and women are going to tell me I can't, take care of myself. I can't resolve this health issue that I have. That's not fair.
And it really doesn't. It wouldn't make sense translated into any other topic either. I mean, that's why we have experts, right? And that's why we use data, and that's why we, all of those things remain true. And in a sense, it doesn't make sense linguistically. But if we could depoliticize these political issues and just talk about the issue at hand and the data and the solutions,
we
could solve.
solve and resolve all this stuff. It would have been all resolved decades ago.
In your vision of citizen statesmanship, what part of a person's life for those 2 years would be involved in government? Would they be a full-time?
Well, so this is that's a good point. So honestly, and again, I don't mean to argue with Mindy, but they spend most of their time trying to get reelected. And there's hardly any effort. There's almost zero effort in trying to solve and resolve the issues. And so if you think about it, if they weren't allowed to get reelected, they'd have nothing to do. And so in a citizen statesmanship environment, it's going to be like jury duty. So okay, I'm the representative in the House for South Carolina in the 4th District, let's say. And so I need to go there maybe a couple times a year, for a couple weeks to talk about legislation and stuff. And so I could, very easily keep my normal job, honestly, in most scenarios. Because unless some massive big thing is changing, like World War II is happening again or something, but unless there's some massive thing, no,
And if you question that, go online and read the agenda and see how much time is spent when they are in session dealing with things that are just absolutely irrelevant to the American people.
They don't spend, and even the meetings that they have, the hearings that they have, it's all like immigration's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have this hearing on immigration on February 10th. And I watched it, and 5 minutes for the Republicans, to spend 3 minutes of it talking about how great the Republicans are, and 2 minutes about how evil the Democrats are.
Trying to create a viral moment
And then
the re-election campaign.
And then the next 5 minutes is one of the Democrats, talking for 3 minutes about how great the Democrats are, and 2 minutes about how horrible and evil the Republicans are.
Yeah.
Alternating every 5 minutes.
Without solutions.
For hours and hours, and never the first inkling of a question or offer of a solution. Yeah. Never. I watched this thing for hours, and that's all they did was talk about how great their own party was and how horrible the other party was.
Is. So is it overstating to say that if things continue on the path they're on, that we will no longer be able to get out of it?
I think we're in real trouble. The trend, again, the trend is there's an excellent chance, and especially, okay, let me differentiate here. The EOP, us, there's an excellent chance that our future is dire. And I mean dire. Bad. Horrible. Bad. Nothing but pestilence and hunger and disease and famine, and because the way things are going, there's going to be a ton of automation, and the narsoles are going to have their little city states, their little safe enclaves,
control over everything,
and they're going to have their place, these luxury estates or whatever, protected by weapons and all this other stuff, and the rest of us, it's going to be like what's the stupid zombie thing that was on for a while?
I don't know much about.
Oh, gosh.
I was thinking Hunger Games, but I don't know much about that either. So.
Oh, there was. It's not coming to you. Oh man, I'm sorry.
So with currently this, I don't know if you're familiar with the SAVE Act and the discussion about voting rights and such, but our only real tool is our vote, and that is being curbed. I mean, just hampered terribly. All this to say, I don't have anything better to do.
We are the house is burning. That's the best analogy that we have, and it's already burning, and the flames are accelerating. So you're sitting in your living room, and there's tons of smoke everywhere in the house, and the walls are burning, and the rafters are about to fall down. That's what's happening. We need to act. We do not. You have nothing in that scenario. You have nothing better to do than to get your arse off the sofa and get the hell out of the house.
And take somebody with you.
And take somebody with you. Of course, if you have family members or a dog or whatever, yes. But that is where we are headed. We are headed for truly dystopian times. There's a fork in the road coming, and if we have to get organized, we have to get educated, and then join us, get on the action list, future actions list. We can fix it. We can, but it's going to take millions of us.
And if you doubt what we're saying, if it feels a little over dramatic, read history. Like, there's a reason history is important. This has played out before. It's nothing new under the sun, as they say. But we do have an opportunity to change things, to fix things, and it's up to us.
Yes. And so, we're on the same bus barreling toward the cliff, and the worst people are behind the wheel. Literally the worst people you can imagine have hold of the wheel. And they don't care whether the bus goes off the cliff. They just care if they have hold of the wheel. And so it's time for us to fight up there to get to the place. Another analogy is, unfortunately, like in the 9/11 scenario, where the planes are being crashed and whatnot, and one of the flights, the people on board got word that it wasn't normal hijacking anymore.
Yeah.
This was a new thing. They were crashing the planes. And so what happened on that plane is that the people fought the terrorists. Yeah. Now the plane still crashed.
But they saved,
whatever the target was. I don't remember the exact history of what the target was, but they saved, and the whole point is they recognized that the imminent problems were happening, and they are for us. We swear it's true. Come join us, and let's make the good fight. And then if we do it soon enough, we'll land the plane.
Yeah, there is the possibility that the house doesn't burn down completely.
If we do it soon enough, we'll land the plane. We'll stop, we'll get out, and we'll notify the fire department, and they'll come and put out the fire before the whole place burns down. Yeah. There is definitely the possibility for us to do this, but we've got to do it. And it's on us, it's on you to do this. And we'll keep talking. You have to listen and then start talking yourself.
Talk to the people that you know.
And get them to come to our podcast and send them the links, share the information, get this going. We can write us at FreeEqualFair@gmail.com. We can start organizing by state. We can have Citizen Statesman, Montana, Citizen Statesman California.
So FreeEqualFair@gmail.com, and then we'll have your contact, and we can.
And we'll give you all kinds of information that will help you, spread the word. And we can do this. I am absolutely certain. We are very capable. And in another show we talk about we are ignorant of our power. Mm. We are. We have tremendous power. There's 340 million people. Almost all of them like us. And if we were to go out into the streets at one time, we got power.
Yeah, we do have a voice.
We got power, but we have to do it.
And we have nothing better to do.
And because things are getting so bad and getting worse, the trend is terrible, terrible. You literally have nothing better to do. You have nothing better to do. This is an important thing. You should be selecting it over, many things in your life, because the future is important. And a bad future is coming unless we act. So we're going to wind up the show. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope it was thought-provoking.
Yeah.
And again, get out there and help us. Join us. Be ambassadors yourselves. Be facilitators yourselves. You see what we're doing, you can do it too.
Yeah.
So we're volunteers and ambassadors for a better tomorrow. That future, that brighter tomorrow, will have citizen statesmen like you and I, elected in offices in our government. And it's wildly important that you join us in advocating for that, because a better future is possible, but we must act. Do it now. Do it again.
Well, that was even better.
Was it? Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. We have nothing better to do. Sign up and join the movement at FreeEqualFair@gmail.com, and we'll get you on a call to action list. We can do this. Join us. Our next show is wildly important as well. It is called Alternate Realities.
See you there.
We'll see you on the next show.